Menopause marks a profound hormonal turning point in a woman's life, often accompanied by noticeable and frustrating changes in body weight and fat distribution. One of the most consistent observations across cultures and studies is the tendency for women to gain fat, particularly in the abdominal region, during and after the menopausal transition. This is not simply a matter of aging or lifestyle alone. The loss of estrogen plays a central role in redirecting how and where the body stores fat. The shift from a pear-shaped, gynoid, fat pattern to an apple-shaped, android, pattern, with more visceral fat accumulating around the organs, carries both metabolic and emotional consequences. While not every woman gains weight during menopause, most experience a change in how their body looks and feels, often despite unchanged diet and exercise habits. The hormonal landscape of menopause is defined by a dramatic decline in estrogen levels, particularly estradiol, which has widespread effects beyond reproduction. Estrogen influences how fat is stored and how insulin, a key metabolic hormone, is utilized by cells. When estrogen falls, fat storage becomes more centralized around the abdomen, and the body becomes less sensitive to insulin. This insulin resistance makes it harder for glucose to be used effectively for energy, increasing blood sugar levels and encouraging more fat storage. Over time, this can lead to or worsen prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular risk, even in women who previously had normal metabolic profiles. The increase in visceral fat during menopause is especially concerning because it is not just an inert storage depot. Visceral fat is biologically active. It secretes inflammatory chemicals, cytokines, and hormones that disrupt metabolic regulation and promote systemic inflammation. These inflammatory signals can further interfere with insulin sensitivity and promote muscle breakdown, creating a vicious cycle of fat gain and lean mass loss. Unlike subcutaneous fat, which lies just under the skin, visceral fat surrounds internal organs and contributes to a higher risk of stroke, heart attack, and metabolic syndrome, even in women who maintain a healthy body mass index (BMI). Adding to the challenge, many women experience a simultaneous reduction in physical activity during midlife, often due to increased work or caregiving responsibilities, fatigue, or joint discomfort. Sleep disturbances, which are common due to hot flashes and hormonal instability, can worsen weight gain by increasing appetite-regulating hormones like ghrelin and reducing levels of leptin, the hormone that signals fullness. Stress, another common feature of this life stage, can increase cortisol levels, which promotes abdominal fat storage and further disrupts glucose metabolism. As a result, even women who are mindful of their diets and exercise may find it harder to manage their weight during menopause. Despite these biological hurdles, menopause does not doom women to metabolic decline or irreversible weight gain. Rather, it requires a strategic shift in approach, one that recognizes the new hormonal context and adapts accordingly. Resistance training becomes particularly important, not only to preserve muscle mass and bone density, but also to increase insulin sensitivity and reduce visceral fat. Regular strength training has been shown to improve glucose metabolism and increase resting energy expenditure, helping to counteract the drop in metabolic rate that often accompanies both aging and menopause. Nutrition must also evolve. Protein needs increase during menopause due to reduced muscle-building efficiency, meaning women may benefit from consuming more protein-rich foods like legumes, fish, poultry, tofu, and dairy at each meal. At the same time, reducing added sugars and refined carbohydrates helps blunt insulin spikes and supports better blood sugar regulation. Fiber-rich foods, especially vegetables, berries, and whole grains, support gut health and help control appetite, while omega-3 fatty acids from sources like flax seeds, walnuts, and fatty fish may reduce inflammation and improve fat metabolism. Maintaining adequate vitamin D and calcium intake is also vital for metabolic and skeletal health. Lifestyle factors such as stress management and sleep hygiene can no longer be optional during menopause. They become essential pillars of health. Deep breathing, mindfulness, walking in nature, and prioritizing restful sleep are not only helpful for emotional resilience, but they also improve hormonal balance and reduce cortisol-driven fat storage. Women who invest time in these habits often find that their weight becomes more manageable and their energy improves, even without drastic caloric restriction. For some, hormone replacement therapy, HRT, may be considered as part of a personalized health plan, particularly when menopausal symptoms are severe. While HRT is not primarily a weight loss intervention, Some studies suggest it may help reduce visceral fat accumulation and improve insulin sensitivity, particularly when initiated early in the menopausal transition. However, the decision to use HRT should be made with careful consideration of the risks and benefits and under medical supervision. In the end, the menopausal transition represents both a biological challenge and an opportunity. The hormonal shifts that promote fat gain and metabolic disruption are real, but they are not insurmountable. By proactively adjusting nutrition, exercise, sleep, and stress management strategies, women can navigate this phase with strength and self-awareness. Rather than viewing menopause as a period of inevitable decline, it can be reframed as a powerful time of renewal, a moment to reassess, reset, and adopt habits that support vitality, metabolic balance, and long-term health.